Do you need fast cash from the sale of your home? Slow down and watch this video to avoid some of the traps that could cost you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. This video is for you if you're looking to sell your property quickly and you're thinking of taking one of those we buy houses offers. Whether you've just inherited it, you live far away, you're tired of being a landlord, you don't want to repair the thing, you just want your cash fast. I know you've seen the TV ads, the billboards, those yellow handwritten signs, maybe you've received postcards, and maybe you've seen a website with glowing reviews. How bad can it be? Some sellers never find out how much money they left on the table, and others find out when it's way too late. We're gonna pull back the curtain to share with you what those investors don't want you to know. So the first mistake you're gonna make in calling one of these we buy houses investors is thinking somehow that they're on your side. In many cases, these are professional investors and the deck will be stacked against you. They may be charming and friendly and may wanna hear your whole story, but that really, at the end of the day, is to figure out what levers they can pull to put more pressure on you going forward. They're more than happy to promise to make your problems go away, and the more the merrier with the problems, because they know the more problems there are, the more stress there is for you. They're not looking to give you top dollar. They are looking to get the property as low as they can so they can make top dollar. One of the first questions or early questions will often be, why is it that you want to sell the property? And it may seem harmless, but really what that is going to be used is to help to continue to put the pressure on you, particularly if they get it under contract and are renegotiating. The more they think you need the money urgently, the more they know that they can renegotiate with you. Now, I'm not saying every single one is like this. There may be some good apples out there, but the vast majority, these things will be used against you. They might even tell you they're one of the only ones who can solve your problems, that you don't need to go anywhere else. They're gonna make sure that you get the best deal, and that's because they don't want competition. These investors understand that buying it off market, the fewer people that you talk to, the more likely it is that they will negotiate a better deal on the property in buying it from you. Competition is bad for buyers. That's why they want it off market. And that's why when a property is put on market, on the multiple listing service, for example, that competition is ultimately what drives up the price. Mistake number two, believing the number that they offer you. Look, I get it. They're promising quick cash. You're in a rush. It sounds easy. They promise to potentially cover all costs. There's no commissions. Sounds like this is the perfect offer to take. And you're smart, maybe even shop around to a few of these different investors so that you can find the highest number. But here's the catch. Most of these investors will tell you really whatever number you want to know to get you to sign the contract and then renegotiate like heck once the property is under contract. Once it's under contract, they'll claim there's issues they discovered in their investigation. Could be to the property, could be to the title, could be something else. They could talk about the market declining, scare you about something that's going on in the news lately. And then they'll also claim, hey, there were issues we couldn't have known or didn't know going in, all in an attempt to squeeze you for more money. But don't fall for it. You need to get the fair value for your home. But of course you're thinking, well, if they try to renegotiate and it's not going to work out, I can just cancel, right? That leads to this. And the next mistake is signing the offer to let the investor tie the property up. The number was reasonable, they promised no fees, and you want to give it a try and you can always back out, right? Unfortunately, they are now in the driver's seat. There's important questions that need to be answered before you sign the contract. Who drafted the contract? Are there any protections in you as the seller of the property? Are you able to back out for any reason? Is the buyer able to back out for any reason? Are there penalties for non-performance? So if the buyer isn't performing, they're taking longer time to do things than they said they would, what are the penalties? Are there any monies involved, deposit monies that you get to keep as the investor if they don't perform? What happens if they don't sign a cancellation if you decide to cancel it? These are just a few of the things you need to wonder about before signing that offer. One person who called me, yes, we get calls from people who find out too late that they're stuck in a contract. They signed a contract and inadvertently had agreed to get the property empty of a renter. Their intention for quick money was to sell it with the renter in place, but now they were stuck in this contract. They couldn't back out until they got that renter out, and it was going to be a very expensive process for them to do that. So you have to be very careful in knowing what you sign before you put it under contract. And if you are going to sign, this leads to another mistake. Mistake number 4, thinking that you're dealing with the buyer of the property. Is the company that you signed the offer with really the one who's going to buy the property? In many cases, the property is locked up and they will then shop it around to their network of investors. I get these emails from some different investment groups out there, and what they're going to do next is they're going to march a bunch of people through the property in an attempt to find somebody else to buy that property. Very few are actually principals who are buying the properties for their own portfolio to either fix up and flip or fix up and hold. This is a process known as flipping the contract. And if they ultimately can't flip the contract, in many cases, they will just go ahead and back out of the deal. This is a great way for these investor groups to go ahead and make money off of your property without having to tie up any money of their own. They get paid by the investor. They get a spread above and beyond the price that they negotiated with you. That's what one of these investors marching through your house will pay. All these people marching through, you have no idea whether they're even qualified or not. It's a numbers game for the investor. They figure the more people they show, more likely they can flip that contract and make money. And that's not where the problems end. In addition to losing the time where they ultimately drop you from the deal, if you had a property that was renter occupied and you're long distance, you're not able to control the flow of people, you may now have a renter who is very annoyed and making life difficult for you. This is actually a tactic that some of these investor groups use. They want to go ahead and irritate the renter so that they can negotiate the price down further, and it could literally cost you money. There are cases where the investor that's marching through will promise money to that renter if they move out. For example, $10,000 for cash for keys. If that investor disappears, that renter may now turn to you and ask you as the owner to pay them that money to get out. So it could literally cost you money in addition to wasted time and effort. So what should you do instead if you're interested in getting quick money for that inherited property, rental property, or property you don't want? Reach out to a professional with the right team who's going to help you get top dollar, not try to make top dollar off of you. The investors don't want you to know that there are specialists out there. For example, my team, we specialize in selling renter-occupied properties. We specialize in selling properties that need work, and we specialize in the combination of those properties. We have an entire team that will work for you, including eviction attorneys, contractors, vendors, etc., to help you get top dollar. Furthermore, you need to know what all your options are. There is a full spectrum of options out there. You don't have to just accept a quick close, all cash, off-market offer. Yes, that may end up being the best thing for you, but you need to understand all your options, the full spectrum from there all the way through to the other options that are going to net you the highest dollar amount. If you're thinking of selling that inherited home or that rental property or that property you just don't want to deal with anymore, make sure you reach out to us. We will help you figure out the best strategy so that you can maximize dollar while minimizing inconvenience. We'll give you the full spectrum of options. That way you don't have to run through endless walkthroughs, lowball offers, and additional stress. If you are a seller who dealt with a We Buy Houses all cash quick close deal, I want to hear how it went. Leave that in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Christian Walsh, real estate agent with Wire Associates, and we can't wait to hear from you.